Complete version. In the divine martial continent, the strong are revered, and warriors are born with a martial soul. The 5 elements complement each other, and ice and fire are incompatible. The golden scale is the object in the pool, and it will transform into a dragon in the ice and fire. A timeless ice crystal in this world, a genius of the flame holy body, has created a legend of trembling in all worlds. Lingtian, a young man from the earth, crossed the divine martial continent and possessed a genius youth. Genius turned into waste, and from then on, a phoenix with fallen feathers was not as good as a chicken. He was blessed with misfortune, and a cycle of heaven and earth made him rise strong. With the momentum of wind and clouds, he made great strides and achieved the supreme God of War. Keywords of the novel. Supreme God of War no pop-ups, Supreme God of War TXT complete collection download, Supreme God of War latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Young Lingtian. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Tianmu Mountains are full of vitality. Tianyun sect is located within the Tianmu Mountains and occupies the entire Tianmu Mountains. In the early morning, the lively sound of martial arts performances shattered the tranquility. On the martial arts arena, countless 14-year-old boys were practicing a basic set of boxing techniques, with all their movements neat and uniform. The fierce wind blew the air open. Ha! Isn't that senior brotherly Lingtian? A young man looked at the entrance of the martial arts arena and exclaimed in surprise. Not bad, it's him, a former genius disciple. A genius disciple. That was a thing of the past. In the future, he will just be a waste who cannot become a warrior. Oh, it's a pity. If it weren't for that hail, he would definitely have become a warrior. Yes, if you become a warrior, you can enter the outer gate. He must have done something that angers both humans and gods, otherwise how could hail fall and destroy him? A group of young people looked at Lingtian walking in from the entrance of the martial arts arena, all sighing and more gloating. The once genius disciple, surprisingly, when he was attacking the martial arts realm, hail fell from the sky, interrupting his opportunity to communicate with his martial soul and forever stopping at the martial arts disciple. Lingtian looked at the young man in the martial arts arena, with a bitter smile on his lips. He had become accustomed to these mocking faces in the past month. Entering the martial arts arena, without stopping, I walked straight through the arena towards the other direction, leaving behind a lonely figure. A genius disciple. Lingtian walked step by step, with a bitter smile in his heart. Genius disciples, but it's all from the past, and now I'm just a useless person who can't become a warrior. Not bad, a month ago, he was indeed a genius. At the age of 14, he reached the pinnacle of the 10th level of martial arts, only one step away from a martial artist. Becoming a martial artist is almost guaranteed. But when he was attacking the warrior, 1,000-year-old hail fell from the heavenly cloud sect. In June, the hail struck with thunder, interrupting his opportunity to attack the warrior and forever stopping at the warrior, becoming a mocked waste. As the saying goes, a phoenix with falling feathers is not as good as a chicken. Previously, he was respectfully treated by his disciples, one after another, Li's senior brother. However, after his failure to challenge martial artists, he was also given a useless title. Martial soul. Natural talent. Yeah, I've become useless now. What qualifications do I have to be a genius, and what hope do I have to become a strong person? Lingtian gave a bitter smile and muttered to himself, in this world, the strong are respected. Only with strong strength can we survive and earn the respect of others. Martial soul is an innate attribute of every warrior, a type of martial soul that is closely related to its strength and future achievements. With a martial soul, one must possess a powerful and extraordinary talent. What is that talent? No one can explain it clearly, but the only thing that can be judged is that the better the talent, the faster the cultivation and the higher the achievement. The stronger the talent, the more efficient it is to cultivate. Without talent, practicing is twice the result with half the effort, in other words, it is difficult to please. Time travel is time travel, why would you turn a genius into waste? Isn't this just playing tricks on me? Even if heaven does evil, one can still live, if one does evil, one cannot live. No one knows that inside Lingtian's body, there is a soul from the 21st century youth on earth. It turned out that a month ago, during the prosperous era of the 21st century on earth, he was just a young man with 3 knots. He did not expect a sudden hail on the sunny day of June, a once in century hail that knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, he found himself transported to a disciple of the same name of the Tianyun sect. This disciple, who was originally a genius and a fire-type genius, was hit by hail and became a complete waste. More importantly, as a fire-type martial soul, he had an additional fist-sized hailstone in his dantian, which kept him constantly in a cold and icy abyss. In the past month, he has been ridiculed by countless disciples, which has given him immunity and made him more aware of the principle of valuing strength. In this world, there is not much worldly wisdom, the only thing is to speak with his fists. However, this month, he gradually adapted to the life here. Apart from being ridiculed, he gradually withdrew from the public sight. In order to suppress the cold inside his body, he can only spend most of his time on cultivation every day, using the fire of the inner earth to suppress the suffering of the cold. Looking at the fiery cave entrance in the distance, Lingtian cursed inwardly at himself. Before crossing over, others were still geniuses, but after he arrived, he turned geniuses into waste. Although memories were completely fused, his soul could not fully merge. Thinking that my body is already 14 years old, and there is still 1 year left. If I cannot become a martial artist at the age of 15, I will have to leave Tianyun sect and become an ordinary person, once again busy and inactive for a lifetime. 1 year later, the Tianyun sect disciple **** entered the outer gate and the outer gate entered the inner gate, competing with the elite disciples of the inner gate. Unconsciously, Lingtian had already passed through the martial arts arena and arrived at the Fire Dragon Cave. The Fire Dragon Cave is a terrifying place in the eyes of its peripheral disciples. The temperature here is extremely high, and most fire-type martial soul disciples dare not come here to practice. However, practicing here yields more than twice as much as other places. Even before Lingtian, he never dared to come to this place to practice. After becoming a waste, he came to this place every day to practice, relying on the temperature and the fire of the earth's core to suppress the cold inside his body. The icy cold inside Lingtian's body throbbed again, giving him no hesitation in walking directly towards the entrance of the Fire Dragon Cave, which was a full 20 square meter radius. Inside, everything was fiery red, with hot breath sweeping out one after another. Just these hot breath could make ordinary disciples faint. But when Lingtian came here, it was like entering a hot spring. Indeed, the icy cold inside his body almost made him collapse, and it became increasingly severe. He didn't know how long he could live without such a place. 1 zhang, 2 zhang, 3 zhang. After a full 5 minutes, Lingtian arrived at a platform, and the surrounding mountain walls seemed to be melting, almost melting his entire body. Sitting cross-legged, activate the previously practiced Flame Divine Fist technique, resist the scorching temperature, and suppress the icy cold inside the body. If you don't become a waste and continue practicing like this, you will definitely achieve twice the result with half the effort. Hey! Lingtian sighed and then entered the realm of cultivation. He felt very at ease that among his peripheral disciples, no one could come to this place. But heaven does not follow people's wishes. Just as I started practicing, a sinister smile came from behind. Hee, I didn't expect to be here. Lingtian, today is your deadline. In the scorching Fire Dragon Cave, Lingtian felt cold and threatened by death in front of this sound. This was a warrior's intuition, and his heart was filled with fear. It's you. Standing up and seeing the person coming in from behind, his heart sank directly. Warrior level 3. Yang Xianguang, an outer disciple of the Tianyun sect, although an outer disciple, is countless times stronger than the outer disciples. Whether it is treatment or martial arts skills, they are all beyond the reach of the outer disciples. Moreover, Yang Xianguang has already reached the level of a third-level warrior, and there is no comparability between a warrior and a disciple. Even if he is a genius, he cannot be a match for a warrior. Yang Xianguang is a disciple of the Yang family, who entered the Tianyun sect 2 years ahead of him. The Yang and Li families have always been in opposition, and Li Lingtian's reputation as a genius has made some disciples of the Yang family extremely jealous. Not bad, it's me. You can die today, just a waste. Even if you die, no one from Tianyun sect will take care of you. Besides, entering the Fire Dragon Cave for cultivation is extremely dangerous, hehe. Yang Xianguang stopped 5 meters away from Li Lingtian, with a gloomy smile on his face. His gaze towards Li Lingtian was like looking at a corpse. It seems that you have been waiting for today for a long time. Are you afraid that I might surpass you one day? Haha. Li Lingtian saw Yang Xianguang arrive at this time, and as a person of 2 generations, he already understood the truth in his heart. Yang Xianguang wanted him to disappear into the Fire Dragon Cave. When he laughed, his eyes intentionally or unintentionally looked behind Yang Xianguang. Third-level martial artists were not something his disciples could compete against. As long as he escaped from here, no matter how powerful Yang Xianguang was, he dared not openly kill him in the Tianyun sect. But soon he became desperate. He had originally planned to find a chance to escape, but not far from Yang Xiang's naked body, there were still several powerful auras present. If you want to escape, don't dream anymore. You're not a useless warrior. Is it possible to escape in front of me? Yang Xianguang smiled and walked step by step towards Li Lingtian. His whole body's true qi was in motion, and a faint true qi mask blocked the scorching temperature. A palm slammed fiercely at Li Lingtian, and a strong and fierce energy shook away the scorching breath, and in the blink of an eye, it came to Li Lingtian. Flame Divine Fist. Seeing this fierce palm force, there was a hint of despair in Li Lingtian's eyes. There was even a hint of determination. Even if he was going to die, he would pull a cushion on his back. The Flame Divine Fist is incredibly powerful and unparalleled among various martial souls. Coupled with the environment here, it further enhances the power of the Flame Divine Fist. Bang! With a muffled sound, Li Lingtian's fists and palm strength collided, while at the same time, his other hand grabbed Yang Xianguang and tightly grasped him. The strong impact force pushed his body back towards the platform, and in an instant, he retreated to the edge of the platform. Below the platform was a vast abyss, filled with endless flames. Let go. Yang Xianguang didn't expect Li Lingtian to pull him to his back. Seeing the endless flames ahead, he was extremely afraid. If he fell in, even if it was an immortal golden body, it would turn into molten slurry. Bang bang, bang bang. A fist kept bombarding Li Lingtian, but he couldn't get rid of him. If it continued like this, he would definitely be led into a vast abyss. Blood spurted out from mouth to mouth, causing the whole person to lose consciousness, but a terrifying aura appeared in their eyes. The desire to become a strong person and become a top strong person became even stronger. Rice bucket, I can't even solve a single waste, just go ahead and forget it. A faint voice sounded, and a strong wind carried hot air, rapidly shooting towards the edge of the platform at a speed beyond Li Lingtian's imagination. Bang! With a muffled sound, a powerful palm force slammed against Yang Xianguang's vest, and suddenly Yang Xianguang and Li Lingtian quickly fell into the abyss of flames. Yang Tianfeng. Yang Tianfeng, if I don't die, I will definitely destroy your Yang family. A furious scream came from Yang Xianguang's mouth, and at the same time, another resolute voice rang out from Li Ling's natural mouth, with a bleeding red light in his eyes. Although Yang Xianguang didn't see clearly who was plotting against him, he shouted out loud because only Yang Tianfeng dared to attack him when he came here. The two voices gradually decreased and eventually disappeared into the abyss of flames. Chapter 2. The Heart of Ancient Ice Crystals and Fire Dragons. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The blazing abyss was like a fiery dragon devouring all things in heaven and earth. Lingtian's last glance was at his mocking face and disdainful gaze. Grasping Yang Xiangguang tightly with both hands, he was instantly engulfed by the vast abyss of flames. The endless flames engulfed both of them, and even as he practiced fire-based martial souls, facing this vast abyss of flames was nothing but a withered leaf. Suddenly, my hand was empty and I felt an inexplicable burning pain. When I looked at Yang Xiangguang, my eyes showed a desperate bitter smile. Yang Xiangguang has been turned into air by the flames. Faced with such a temperature, not to mention a third-level warrior, even the more powerful Wuzong Wuwang can only wait to die. I used to hear that the most painful death is being burned to death, and the most comfortable and easy death is sleeping to death. Now I also. As Lingtian watched Yang Xiangguang, who was being pulled to cushion his back, turn into air, he felt a hint of empathy. He was actually burned to death by the flames, but when he thought about it, he suddenly felt something was wrong. Yang Xiangguang was transformed into air, and his cultivation was just a martial artist. How could he possibly die later than Yang Xiangguang? What's even more frightening is that I didn't feel the feeling of being burned by the flames. In shock, I looked at my body and at first glance, my heart felt like lightning. A deep blue light enveloped him, and an endless flame was blocked outside. This light emanated from within him. Is it the hail in the Dantian? Not bad, the fist-sized hail in Dantian kept spinning, emitting an unparalleled cold light, blocking the flames. At this moment, he couldn't feel the icy cold or the scorching heat of the flames burning himself. The body kept falling down, and the more it went down, the stronger the flames became. The flames changed from their original red color to white, but it was a mutated flame with power beyond the imagination of ordinary warriors. You can live a little longer. Lingtian secretly said in his heart that the hailstone inside his body, which is a raging abyss, cannot last long. Even if it continues, he will never be able to climb up. With a hint of bitterness in his heart, he was knocked unconscious by hail and traveled to the Tianyun sect, turning the genius fire-type martial soul into waste. In order to suppress this hail, he came here to practice, but ultimately died in the hail and flames. I don't know how long passed, but a hint of pain came, burning like pain. The cold light was still there, but the eerie flames were constantly eroding his body. Shoo! With a slight sound, his body stopped and suspended in the flames. The cold light formed a one-zhang-sized aperture that enveloped him. Below him was a magical purple-red flame, which carried spirituality and formed a halo to resist the cold light. The extreme cold light and intense flames collided continuously, and Lingtian became a crushing object between the two extremes, mercilessly crushed. This is the heart of the fire dragon, truly the heart of the fire dragon. In shock, he looked down and saw a fist-sized flame heart in the midst of the flames, with a mini version of a fire dragon in the middle. He still knows some about the fire dragon. The fist-sized flame heart is actually the heart of the fire dragon. No wonder this vast flame abyss is called the Fire Dragon Cave. It turns out that there really is a fire dragon sleeping here. Poochie. A mouthful of blood spurted out. The hail inside suddenly spun rapidly, emitting terrifying cold lights that seemed to turn the entire flame abyss into a glacier. Lingtian's weak body couldn't bear the terrifying power, and blood spurted out directly. Roaming and rumbling. A strange thing happened, and when blood spilled on the heart of the fire dragon, it trembled, and the cold light and the heart of the fire dragon collided fiercely again. Lingtian was completely stunned by the two powerful and shocking powers, and he didn't know anything else. Not knowing how long had passed, Lingtian opened his eyes in confusion and then a look of fear appeared on his face. The flames are still burning, the cold light is gone. But the flames were countless times weaker than before, and had no effect on him at all. The cold light disappeared without a trace. Feeling puzzled that he had not been killed, his divine sense immediately entered his body. It seemed okay, but at first glance, his expression changed greatly. Second level warrior. I have become a warrior. Why is the heart of the fire dragon in my elixir field, and why is this hail also present? He discovered that he had gone from being a martial apprentice level 10 to a martial artist level 2. He failed to challenge the martial artist, but now he has become a martial artist level 2. This strange change made him unable to react for a moment. But before he could finish being surprised, a strange message came to his mind, as if it were portrayed in his divine consciousness, and it was impossible to forget it. The powerful information rushed into the sea of consciousness, making it difficult for him to bear, and a painful expression appeared on his face again. However, soon, the message was transmitted. Golden fonts swirled in my mind, magical fonts resembling runes. Ancient ice crystals. The cycle of heaven and earth. Oh, the soul has perfectly merged. Upon discovering his current situation, Lingtian exclaimed in surprise, with a strange expression on his face. The perfect fusion of souls, the fusion of two people's souls, with the wisdom of the 21st century in their past lives, finally understood everything about themselves. The hail in his past life was actually caused by an ancient ice crystal. He was born with water and ice share the same origin. Unexpectedly, the ancient ice crystal brought his soul to the Tianyun sect and attached it to a fire-type genius. Ice and fire clashed, and the genius became useless. The Taigu ice crystal is also sealed with the cycle of heaven and earth. This time, entering the abyss of flames, it inadvertently triggered the fire dragon heart, which entered the Dantian and suppressed each other with the Taigu ice crystal. The cycle of heaven and earth in the ancient ice crystal is activated, balancing the fiery flames of the fire dragon heart and the icy coldness of the ancient ice crystal. This body was originally a flame holy body, and in the flames, its soul merged and its cultivation entered the second level of a warrior. Ha! I didn't expect it to be the flame sacred body, with the flame sacred body and the heaven and earth reincarnation technique. In this life, I will definitely stir up the chaos of heaven and earth. After understanding everything about it, Lingtian couldn't help but burst out laughing loudly, his eyes shining with sharpness. He died twice and finally tasted the bitterness. Ice Soul Martial Soul. The ancient ice crystals have created the Ice Soul Martial Soul. In addition to being happy, I carefully examined the ancient ice crystals and found that in addition to the fire-type martial soul, there is also a type of martial soul that exists, and it is also an ice soul martial soul. After the fusion of souls, combined with the wisdom of previous lives, it is natural to understand that all of this is ancient ice crystals. He, who belongs to water, has achieved the ice soul martial soul. A person has two types of martial souls, which can be terrifying, and they are also two types of martial souls that interact with ice and fire. Ice soul martial soul, come out. Thinking of this, the true chi of the martial artist in his whole body is in motion, and an extreme cold ice energy emanates from his body, forming a fist-sized deep blue light. The ancient ice crystals continuously rotate, slowly providing the cold energy. Suddenly, the endless flames were almost melting into glaciers, and the true flame energy inside was quietly waiting on one side, without any conflict between the two. Shui let out a soft sigh, this icy martial soul is too terrifying. Just a trace of cold ice true chi can emit such terrifying power. If it were an ordinary warrior, it would freeze into an ice sculpture. However, my cultivation level is still too low to unleash the ice soul. Only by gradually becoming stronger will this ice soul become even more terrifying. I must find a way to refine the ancient ice crystal. Lingtian let out a sigh of relief and sat down on the ground. Although the power of the ice soul was astonishing, it could only be forcefully released a little bit without any control, and his ice soul was only formed by ancient ice crystals. In the future, we must find a way to make the ice soul powerful, and this feeling of power is maddening. Next, Lingtian quickly stabilized his realm and stabilized the martial artist's second-level cultivation, not to mention the newly activated flame holy body, which also had an ultimate ice soul that needed to be stabilized. Flame Chi, stop. Give me a break. 2 days have passed, and Lingtian's inner realm has also stabilized. Previously, he practiced the Flame Divine Fist every day. Although it was only a low-level skill in the yellow rank, it was powerful. And the Flame Holy Body is being cultivated in the flame, which is truly twice the result with half the effort. In 2 days, there are faint signs of breakthrough at the peak of the warrior's second level. The third level of martial artists, this powerful feeling is really intoxicating. The flame true chi broke through the peak of the second level and fully entered the third level of the warrior. He took away the heart of the fire dragon in the fire dragon cave. Originally, the flame was not strong, but now it has been weakened countless times compared to before. Yang Tianfeng, please wait for me. I will definitely regain my glory, this world is waiting for me, trembling under my footsteps. Nima, how can I get out? Lingtian's confidence doubled as he looked at the strength of his third-level warrior. Thinking of the mockery he had received over the past month and Yang Tianfeng's calculations, he ignited a true sense of destruction in his heart. But then looking up into the sky, the endless flames above had no idea how high they were. If you wanted glory in glory, you had to leave here first. Subsequently, Lingtian began searching below, trying to find a way to leave the place. Finally, a winding passage appeared before my eyes, with a diameter of 5 meters, indicating the entrance and exit of the fire dragon. Upon seeing this passage, Lingtian did not hesitate at all and walked quickly towards the outside. The further he went outside, the lower the temperature of the flames, and in the end, he could not feel any scorching heat. After walking a distance of several miles, I finally arrived at a pool where there was no more passage ahead. After a moment of hesitation, my body jumped and I disappeared into the pool. The old book with 7.21 million words is completed. We recommend the new book, Eternal Holy King. Welcome everyone to read, collect, recommend tickets, give tips, and leave a message. Chapter 3. Flame Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Late at night, the night sky is like paint, with scattered stars shining freely. The Tianmu Mountains are even more mysterious, like a long dragon hovering in the night sky. All the martial artists of the Tianyun sect have already entered the realm of cultivation or dreams. At a pool, originally tranquil, with a ripple appearing, a figure rushed out of the pool. Finally coming out. The figure landed on the edge of the pool, scanned around, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. After leaving the fire dragon cave, Lingtian entered the water pool and kept swimming. The water pool was no different from the passage, and after half an hour, he finally arrived here. Looking around, my body quickly flickered and ran towards where I lived. This water pool is also a peripheral disciple area, and in less than 5 minutes, I returned to my own room, a separate cultivation room. Although he is a peripheral disciple, his identity is not simple. He is the only son of the Pingbei Marquis of the Tianlong Empire and also a crown prince of the Tianlong Empire. The Heavenly Dragon Empire, no matter who it is, princes, princesses, or princes, must enter the sect for cultivation. Lingtian is no exception. If he cannot become a warrior before the age of 15, he will be sent back to his family. Quickly, Lingtian returned to his residence. He was originally a warrior with a fire-type martial soul, but now he has reached the third level of a warrior, and his strength is even stronger. His soaked clothes have long been dried by his true chi. Sitting cross-legged in the room, the cycle of heaven and earth is activated, quickly absorbing spiritual energy from the air, and then transforming it into true energy into the elixir field. In the past, when practicing fire-based true qi, the absorbed spiritual energy was also fire-based, and other attributes of spiritual energy could not be used at all. Now, with the heaven and earth reincarnation technique, it can absorb water-based and fire-based attributes, which is twice as much as other martial artists in terms of the type and quantity of spiritual energy. Flame Divine Fist. After practicing for an hour, he left the room and arrived at an empty space behind the room. At night, the other disciples had already gone to bed, and at that time, there were not many people coming here. Quickly unleash the Flame Divine Fist that you have cultivated, and the air immediately emits a burning flame aura, as if the air is about to be burned. Bomb! The powerful third-level true qi of the warrior in his body was infused into his arm, and a huge fiery fist smashed fiercely at the boulder. With a loud bang, the 1-meter-sized boulder shattered into pieces. The Flame Divine Fist unleashed by the third-level warrior is not comparable to that of ordinary warriors. Even a fourth-level warrior's disciple cannot catch such a punch. Oh, has the Flame Divine Fist reached its extreme? As Lingtian watched the boulder shatter into pieces, a faint smile appeared on his lips. However, he immediately felt something was wrong. His Flame Divine Fist was only a low-level skill of the yellow rank, which was the worst skill. It was so powerful. In addition to refining his skills to the extreme, he has become more adaptable to this world after the perfect fusion of memory and soul. This world is called Xinwu Continent, and Tianyun sect is just a sect under the Tianlong Empire. The strong in Xinwu Continent are respected, and they possess endless wealth, money, and beauty. The divine martial continent determines not only the martial soul, but also the skills, techniques, elixirs, and weapons that make a strong person successful. According to the metaphor of previous lives, martial souls and talents are like guns, skills are like bullets, and powerful cultivation requires skills to be used. Skills are divided into yellow level, mysterious level, earth level, heavenly level, holy level, and divine level, with each level divided into low level, intermediate level, and advanced level. In the Xinwu continent, most sects only have the yellow and xian levels, and the earth level has not appeared for hundreds of years. As for the skills and techniques of the heavenly level, they are just legends. No matter what skill, it needs to be practiced, and the power of the skill is also divided into small achievements, great achievements, ultimate and transformation. A typical genius can only cultivate their skills to the fullest, and the ultimate is unattainable, let alone the realm of transformation. The realm of transformation is an extraordinary manifestation that changes its original power, making it a mutated existence. Flame Divine Fist is just the most ordinary low-level yellow skill of the Tianyun sect, which can be practiced by peripheral disciples. Lingtian's fire-type martial soul has been practiced for several years, but can only reach its ultimate level. It is because he reached the 10th level of martial arts at the age of 14, and his ultimate Flame Divine Fist has earned him the reputation of Tian Kai. I didn't expect that after merging souls, I would possess the wisdom of the 21st century from my past life, and be able to integrate skills at a glance. The ultimate Flame Divine Fist, although not as powerful as the yellow-level advanced skill, is not much different. I have become a warrior and entering the outer gate is not my goal. Humph, the geniuses of the inner gate, wait. The next morning, Lingtian woke up, feeling full of strength and good spirits, with a faint smile on his lips from beginning to end. Walking leisurely towards the martial arts arena, many disciples saw Lingtian with disdainful and mocking smiles on their faces. This former genius can never become a warrior. Hee, isn't this senior brother Li? Are you still going to practice today? Senior brother Li, although you go to the Fire Dragon Cave to practice every day, don't try to break through the martial arts realm. Let's wait and return to the Li family to spend the rest of your life. Zhang Luo, aren't you only at the 8th level of martial arts apprenticeship? Senior brother Li is the pinnacle of the 10th level of martial arts apprenticeship. I'm only at the 8th level of a martial artist, but becoming a martial artist is still possible. It's countless times better than him always stopping at a martial artist. Some of the disciples who used to follow Li Lingtian sneered and mocked him with disdain, saying that in the past, Li Lingtian was a genius and they were fawning on him like dogs. Now that Li Lingtian has become a waste, they are all falling into trouble. Do you suffer from the disease of shrinking without speaking? Get out of here. Li Lingtian had a faint smile on his lips as he looked at the 8th level disciples of several martial artists, as if watching a monkey trick. He then drank lightly and stared at the martial artists with cold eyes. You. Several martial artists looked at Li Yuren's cold gaze, their hearts couldn't help but tremble with fear from the bottom of their hearts. A skinny camel is bigger than a horse. He used to be a genius, even if he turned into a waste, his remaining power is still there. Besides, he is now at the 3rd level of a warrior. For these warriors, it's like treating ants. Li Lingtian was about to walk towards the martial arts arena when a cold mocking voice made him stop, and a murderous intent surged in his heart. Li Lingtian, are you still alive? The voice was cold, but there was a look of shock in it. 5 days ago, Ming personally shot Li Lingtian down into the fire dragon cave, but now he appears here unscathed, feeling extremely strange in his heart. I'm not dead, are you surprised? Surprisingly, I don't know if I want to thank you or hate you. Li Lingtian turned around and looked sharply at the warrior across from him. Yang Tianfeng, the peak of the 4th level warrior, was the one who used his palm strength to shoot him and Yang Xiangguang down from the abyss of flames 5 days ago. This voice and appearance, like turning into ashes, he will not forget that people who have died twice, from now on, will not let such threats appear in front of him, and will surely strangle them in the cradle. At this moment, many disciples gathered around and looked at Li Lingtian and Yang Tianfeng with curiosity. Yang Tianfeng is an outsider disciple with a 4th-rank martial artist. He always comes to show off his power among his peripheral disciples, and almost everyone knows him. When Yang Tianfeng meets Li Lingtian, he appears to be gloating. Since you haven't died, I'll let you completely scrap it today. Yang Tianfeng was taken aback by Li Lingtian's composure for a moment, feeling overwhelmed. A useless person who cannot become a warrior should be so calm. Thinking of plotting against Yang Xiangguang and Li Lingtian, I had a murderous plan in my heart. In the Tianyun sect, it is not allowed to fight or kill fellow disciples. If Li Lingtian tells the higher authorities, I cannot finish eating and walk around. Only by abolishing Li Lingtian will he be directly sent out of the Tianyun sect, and he will also be safe. Really? If you don't come to me today, I will also expose you. Li Lingtian spoke calmly and then walked towards the martial arts arena, completely ignoring Yang Tianfeng. The other disciples were amazed by Li Lingtian's performance. Daring to be so arrogant in front of a master of the 4th level of martial arts is probably because he wants to die. Even if he is a martial arts disciple of the 10th level, he is not the enemy of the combination of martial arts. Do you want to leave? Yang Tianfeng saw Li Yuran about to leave, and with a flash of his body, he stopped Li Lingtian with a disdainful expression on his face and a murderous intent in his eyes. Don't you want me to become a complete waste? I'll help you. Li Lingtian pointed to the platform in the middle of the martial arts arena, which was 5 meters high and had a radius of 100 square meters, specifically designed for disciples to compete on. And this martial arts performance platform also has a layer of meaning, which is to let disciples with grievances fight below. Fighting on top is not against the rules of the sect, and it is no different from the life and death canyon of the outer sect. After speaking, he ignored Yang Tianfeng and walked calmly towards the martial arts stage, leaving behind countless surprised disciples. This is seeking death. Are you just thinking about dying like that? It seems that even a genius who cannot become a warrior cannot withstand this blow and is lost in consciousness. Isn't this provoking a martial arts master? Is he crazy? Countless disciples only realized when Lingtian walked onto the martial arts stage. They looked at Lingtian on the stage and all the disciples quickly surrounded him. Since I'm seeking death, I'll fulfill you today. Yang Tianfeng was stunned as he watched Lingtian walk up the stairs. Isn't this disciple of the Li family seeking death? However, there was always a feeling in his heart that something was wrong. Lingtian gave him a different feeling, and there was also a hint of threatened crisis in his heart. Thinking that Lingtian is just a martial artist and a genius in the 4th level of martial arts, I would easily defeat and kill him with just one palm. Such an opportunity is rare. If Lingtian were completely defeated, my cousin would definitely be happy, and I would definitely gain many benefits by then. For a moment, hundreds of disciples looked at Li Yuran on the steps, disdainful, gloating, cold-eyed, and mocking, but without any sympathy. Is this a provocation from Chiguoguo? Even if he dies, it's still a bit of honor. A genius who dares to provoke the 4th level warrior like this. I heard that senior brother Yang Tianfeng has reached the pinnacle of the 4th level. I have control of the yellow level intermediate big tier palm in my hand, even a 5th level genius expert can fight in one battle. Guess how many seconds can Wastely last? I guess 3 seconds. I guess 2 seconds. Directly flying in seconds, the 4th level warrior controls the yellow level intermediate level great tearing palm. Not to mention the warrior, even if they are a warrior, their move is still defeated. For a moment, many disciples began to gamble, watching Lingtian stand on the steps for a few seconds. However, Lingtian's face was calm, with a faint smile on his lips. In his heart, Yang Tianfeng had to be defeated for a lifetime. He was a 4th level warrior, and even when he encountered his flame divine fist, he had no chance. Humph, seek death, you can't blame me. Yang Tianfeng's face was filled with anger. He was a useless martial artist who dared to provoke him like this. How could he survive in front of his fellow disciples from outside? Can't you just talk nonsense? If nonsense works, you can be invincible in the world. Lingtian cast a disdainful glance at Yang Tianfeng, a warrior who couldn't hold his breath during the battle and couldn't become a great weapon. Ha, ha. Ha. Hee hee. Underneath the stage, there was a burst of laughter. Although I didn't have much confidence in Lingtian, it was indeed rare to have the courage to insult a 4th level martial artist at this time. But when they saw Yang Tianfeng's angry and cold eyes, they quickly closed their mouths to avoid being at a disadvantage. Go to hell. Yang Tianfeng was completely enraged and could no longer care about anything else. With the true energy of the 4th level martial artist in his body, he lifted it with one hand and suddenly a tearing force surged out. Big tier palm, destroy it for me. The air was torn apart by a tearing force, and the intermediate skill of the yellow level and the cultivation true energy of the 4th level peak of the martial artist instantly shocked all the disciples below. At such a distance from the steps, everyone felt the terrifying tearing force. If he were to become his opponent, he would not have been directly torn apart by the energy. A torn palm with fierce energy smashed fiercely at Lingtian, with a speed that exceeded the sight of countless disciples. All the disciples looked at this palm in terror, as if seeing Lingtian being instantly thrown away in front of this palm, and it was completely destroyed. Roaming and rumbling. There were dull explosions, and the strong energy on the steps made countless disciples unable to open their eyes. Chapter 4. Nangong Mingyue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Flame Divine Fist. Lingtian's eyes were unusually calm, and the smile on the corner of his mouth remained the same. He carefully watched the attack of Big Tier Palm and nodded lightly. I have gained an understanding of the intermediate skills of Huang Jie, and it is indeed much more powerful than the lower level. However, although Yang Tianfeng in front of me is an intermediate skill, he is also a master of the 4th level martial arts. But for this big tearing palm, if you don't have control over it, it's only a small achievement at most, and you can't unleash the strongest attack of the big tearing palm. Watching Big Tear Palm come to the front, he let out a soft drink, and his true energy surged. Suddenly, a burst of flames filled the steps. Within a radius of 50 zhang, the temperature rose sharply, and a fist with flames fiercely met the palm force. Warriors, they are warriors. How could it be? Didn't he fail to challenge the warrior? How did he become a warrior? Flame Divine Fist, only martial artists can unleash the flame. Has he become a warrior? However, it's just seeking death. Even if it's a warrior, it's just a warrior's first level skill, a low-level yellow level skill. When faced with a warrior's fourth level and intermediate yellow level skills, one still needs to be instantly defeated. Many powerful disciples were shocked to see Lingtian's fiery fists, as if seeing a ghost. However, it immediately occurred to me that using low-level skills in the first level of martial arts is definitely not an opponent of using intermediate skills in the fourth level of martial arts. With each level, there is a huge difference between the two. Humph, just a fourth level warrior. Lingtian whispered, and the Flame Divine Fist advanced forward, fiercely hitting the Big Tear Palm with a disdainful expression in his eyes. I am a flame holy body with the heart of a fire dragon in my body. With this powerful energy alone, I can make the fourth level warriors of a warrior die directly, let alone my own ice soul. Just advanced martial artist, but since that's the case, you should die even more. When Yang Tianfeng saw Lingtian's fist, his heart sank. It turned out that this useless person had become a warrior, a genius who became a warrior at the age of 14, and could not stay. But he didn't notice at all that Lingtian was looking at him like he was looking at a dead person. Roaming and rumbling. Two attacks collided together, emitting a loud explosion, and a powerful residual force scattered in all directions, charging towards the bottom of the steps. Ah! Pushi! With a scream of agony, a figure was thrown out, leaving a trail of blood in the air, and finally plummeted fiercely to the bottom of the steps. I say I'm a waste, but now I'll make you a real waste. If I don't kill you, I'll keep you in pain for a lifetime. Lingtian glanced faintly at the disciple below the steps, his eyes never looking at Yang Tianfeng again from beginning to end, and a cold voice sounded. Turn around and walk down the stairs, heading in another direction. Last time, Yang Tianfeng calculated that the fire dragon heart inside had been taken away by him. I don't know what it has become now. Just now, with a punch, the fiery aura directly destroyed Yang Tianfeng's dantian, leaving a burning and devouring aura in his body. Apart from him, no one in this world can relieve this fiery aura. Ah! Has the fourth level warrior been defeated? How could it be possible? The first level warrior defeated the genius of the fourth level warrior. Is this still a waste? Did the success of the last attack on the warrior only come from a stable state? Finally, the disciple below the steps woke up from the shock and looked at Yang Tianfeng, who was half dead on the ground. They all exclaimed in surprise and rushed to the scene feeling scared. Various speculations emerged in their hearts, but they couldn't find a good reason. A month ago, they failed to challenge the warrior, and a month later, they defeated the genius of the warrior's fourth level with one move. Is this still a waste? Many disciples were grateful that they had not mocked Lingtian before, but some felt anxious and uneasy. When they tried to curry favor with Lingtian, his figure had long disappeared. In less than 10 seconds, over 100 disciples on the martial arts arena disappeared completely, leaving only a half-dead Yang Tianfeng. Lingtian looked inside the Huolong cave once and then returned to his room. The flames inside the Huolong cave were still there, but something was missing. As for what was missing, his heart naturally brightened. Defeating Yang Tianfeng is just the beginning. Becoming an outsider disciple is no longer interesting because I am already a martial artist and will have to wait for a year before becoming a disciple of the Tianyin sect. To enter the inner gate, everyone is a martial genius. Although they have the flame holy body and ice soul, their cultivation is not enough and they must go out to experience. I have practiced the heaven and earth reincarnation technique once, and I am extremely satisfied. This heaven and earth reincarnation technique is indeed powerful, absorbing spiritual energy quickly and transforming spiritual energy more quickly. Just this cycle of heaven and earth, his current cultivation can only open the first level, and he has no idea what powerful existence is behind him. The golden characters in the sea of consciousness carry depth and solemnity, which cannot be broken by other martial artists. Only by improving one's cultivation can one obtain more powerful beings. After preparing for a while, bringing some dry food and a long sword, he left the room and walked towards the outer door. Not walking too far, the footsteps stopped, and the smile at the corner of the mouth became even stronger, seeing familiar people. A stunning figure appeared on the small path outside the door. Lingtian knew this girl and in his memory, he admired her very much. Nangong Mingyue, the eldest princess of the Heavenly Dragon Empire royal family, the genius disciple of the Inner Gate, and the goddess in the hearts of the younger generation disciples of the Inner Gate. Feeling the gaze from behind, Nangong Mingyue stopped and turned to look at Lingtian. Her eyebrows furrowed, and a hint of disgust brushed over her delicate face. "It's you." Nangong Mingyue saw Lingtian approach and said calmly, her voice sweet and pleasant. However, she noticed that Lingtian's gaze made her feel uncomfortable. "Of course it's me." Lingtian said lightly, with a smile still on his lips. His eyes kept glancing at the young girl in front of him, dressed in a flowing light shirt, with a stunning face and a noble demeanor that was admirable. Not bad, those so-called beauties in the past didn't even fart in front of her. Lingtian muttered to himself, thinking of the beautiful women in her past life, compared to this Nangong Mingyue, it is completely different from Yunran. "What are you saying?" Nangong Mingyue felt even more disgusted when she saw Lingtian talking to herself. Before, Lingtian was also one of the suitors, and she kept pestering her with her status as a crown prince, but she never gave him a good face. "No," Lingtian said lightly. "You still have a dead heart. You will always stop at the top of the martial arts class, and I am the 9th level peak of the martial arts class. I am the eldest princess of the imperial family. And you are only the son of the Marquis of Pingbei, a crown prince of the royal family, and cannot become a martial arts student of the martial arts class, so." Nangong Mingyue looked at Lingtian. The empire was strong, but the Marquis of Pingbei was a pillar of the country and could not easily offend him. Speaking to Lingtian like this was already giving face. But before she could finish speaking, Lingtian interrupted her and a hint of surprise and anger appeared on her face. "So I'm a toad trying to eat swan meat." Lingtian smiled faintly. In the past, the owner of this body had indeed pursued Nangong Mingyue, but that was all in the past. Now he is not the same Lingtian as before. He immediately spoke up and said, "I don't have much feelings for you. Don't think that as the princess of the royal family, you can't afford it. As a genius in the inner sect, you are amazing. In my eyes, these are nothing. Isn't it the peak of the 9th level warrior?" After speaking, he passed by and completely ignored Nangong Mingyue. There were many people who thought they were right, but I didn't expect Nangong Mingyue to be so arrogant. The path of martial arts is from shallow to deep, and each realm is extremely rigorous, including Wutu, Wuzhe, Wuling, Wuwang, Wuzong, Wuhuang, Wuzuan, Wudi, Wusheng, and Wushen. Each level is divided into 9 sub-levels, 1 realm and 1 world. Moreover, there is a legendary divine realm above the martial god. No matter how good they look, what's the point? There are so many beautiful women in this world. As long as you have strong strength, you have nothing to want. You. Looking at Lingtian's back, Nangong Mingyue reacted and looked at him with some discomfort. She was so angry that she couldn't even speak. How noble she was, the goddess in the hearts of countless inner disciples, was actually ignored by a useless person. Humph, how will I deal with you in the future? After a moment, the anger dissipated, and a cunning smile appeared on Nangong Mingyue's delicate little face. She quickly left the outer door and walked towards the door of the sect. Chapter 5. Level 8 Explosive Flame Beast. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Tianmu Mountains stretch for thousands of miles and occupy the resources of the Tianlong Empire. As one of the 4 super sects of the Tianlong Empire, the Tianyun sect alone occupies the resources of the Tianmu Mountains. This Tianmu mountain range has also become a training paradise for tens of thousands of disciples of the Tianyun sect, but no one dares to enter the depths of the Tianmu mountain range. Legend has it that there are powerful and unparalleled monsters in the depths of the Tianmu mountain range. Lingtian now only has the 3rd level of martial arts, so he naturally wouldn't be foolish enough to go deep and die. After leaving the sect, quickly head towards the mountains. A powerful warrior not only relies on talent and martial soul, but also requires various external resources. He doesn't have any pills. He doesn't have any weapons either. He doesn't have any skills either. The only thing he possesses is the heaven and earth reincarnation technique and the flame martial soul, as well as the ice soul martial soul that he cannot control. To obtain these, one must rely on oneself to eliminate the demon beasts and exchange their inner alchemy for spirit stones. In the Tianyun sect, no matter who, they need to exchange spirit stones for cultivation skills, which can supplement the sect's materials and allow the disciples below to gain experience. After entering the mountain range, I encountered many peripheral disciples along the way, all in groups. A disciple of a martial artist, even if encountering the lowest level monster, cannot be killed. Only by working together can we deal with them. Senior brother in front, wait. A loud voice came over. What's up? Lingtian turned around and looked at the speaker, asking in confusion. Did senior brother also enter the mountains to hunt monsters? Shweta looked at Lingtian's cultivation and found that he was a 3rd level warrior, with a slightly lower cultivation. However, when working together, he needed more strength. It's like this, senior brother, entering the mountain range alone to kill monsters is extremely dangerous. How about we team up and receive material scores? We already have 3 fellow disciples, and with you, our chances are even greater. Do you often enter to hunt monsters? Lingtian looked at the tall man in front of him, who was 2 meters tall and emitting a strong earthy aura. At first glance, he looked like a earthy martial soul, practicing defensive techniques. The 5th level warrior is indeed a good helper. To defeat monsters for the first time, one must have a strong team. Of course. Okay, I promise you. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Shweta, this is Shengguan Linger, this is Chen Yun, and this is Lan Luo. They are all amazing experts. Shweta introduced 3 fellow disciples not far behind him, a 16 or 17-year-old girl with a 4th-rank martial artist. Although not stunning, she had a good appearance and was very agile. There is also a young man named Chen Yun, who is about 20 years old. He is a 6th level warrior, and the last one is named Lan Luo. His face has a hint of disdain, and he is a 7th level warrior. Humph, Shweta, looking for a 3rd level useless warrior is not holding us back. Lan Luo looked at Lingtian, with a more disdainful expression on his face. He didn't give Lingtian any face and directly called him a waste. Senior brother Lan, they are all fellow disciples, you. Shengguan Linger frowned and said seriously when she saw Lan Luo insulting this unfamiliar fellow disciple directly. Alright, let's go, we'll divide the work then. Shweta chuckled and quickly stepped forward to smooth the situation. Now that there were 5 people, as long as they didn't encounter the monster at the top of the 1st level, there would be no problem. Quickly, the division of labor was completed. When encountering monsters above the 7th level, Lan Luo would take action, while those below the 7th level would be taken action by Shangguanlinger and Qingyun. Xue Da's earthy martial soul was mainly for defense, and Li Lingtian acted according to the situation. Li Lingtian never refuted him from beginning to end, with a faint smile on his lips. Among the few people, Li Lingtian has the lowest cultivation level, and even Shangguanlinger is a master of the 4th level martial arts. Be careful, Blue Lion Beast, level 1 and 6. A few people didn't walk far when they saw a huge lion. Li Lingtian's heart was shaken. This lion, with a blue body, looked no different from a lion from a previous life, but was several times larger and emitted a strong and fierce aura. Qingyun, I'll block it. You use it to attract the blue lion beast, and Shangguanlinger takes action. Xue Da exclaimed loudly, and after finishing speaking, his body flashed before rushing towards the blue lion beast. A grey halo appeared on him, emitting a strong earthy aura. At the same time, Qingyun's long sword stabbed towards the blue lion beast, with a faint blade. Roar! With a loud roar, the blue lion beast saw several weak humans actively attacking it, and its huge body rushed towards Xue Da, ignoring Qingyun's long sword. Lingyun arrow. At this moment, Shangguanlinger's body flickered, she bent her knees, bent over, and opened her arms. The exquisite silver bow always appeared on the left hand, and with a flick of the right hand, a silver long arrow was drawn. The entire movement was like flowing water, completed in one go. Whoosh! Roar! A faint sound of breaking through the air, accompanied by a scream, the silver arrow feather had penetrated the head of the blue lion beast, and finally collapsed weakly. Li Lingtian watched as several people worked together seamlessly, feeling secretly shocked. Although it was just a level 1 and 6 demon beast, with strength equivalent to that of a warrior's level 6 appearance, if one faced this blue lion beast alone, they would definitely be invincible. With the joint efforts of several people, the blue lion beast showed no resistance, especially the arrow feathers of Shangguanlinger, which were powerful, destructive, and incredibly fast. Monsters, like human warriors, have levels 1 to 9, with each level having 9 levels. The first level monster is equivalent to a warrior, and the second level monster is equivalent to a martial spirit powerhouse. However, the strength of demon beasts is stronger than that of humans. When demon beasts with the same cultivation level are with humans, humans can only take a detour. The 6th level inner alchemy is good, and this skin can also be worth some spirit stones. Xue Da stepped forward and took out the inner pill of the blue lion beast with a long sword. The inner pill was the size of a baby's fist, with a faint demonic aura on it. Watching Xue Da take away the material of a level 6 monster with just a few strokes, Li Lingtian nodded in his heart, truly deserving of being a master in long-term killing of monsters. Handle the blue lion beast well, and a few people quickly leave and walk towards it. One blue lion beast's material is not enough for 5 people. Next, a few people kept walking forward and had already entered 100 miles of the mountain range. Along the way, they were all killing level 6 or 7 monsters, and Li Lingtian didn't even take any action. It was all Xue Da, Shangguanlinger, and Qingyun who took action. Lan Luo always had his nose in the air and looked down upon Li Lingtian and others completely. Li Lingtian had no chance to take action, but instead became a person carrying bags. Now we need to be careful. The last monster we killed is level 7, and the monsters inside are becoming stronger and stronger. We are on this edge, don't go deep. Xue Da reminded Li Lingtian to look down on him with a simple and honest expression, without any intention of looking down on him as a 3rd-level warrior. Moreover, Li Lingtian was only 14 or 15 years old. Although he was about the same size as a young man, his age was here. Roar! A loud roar, as if confirming Xue Da's words, shook the eardrums of several people and caused pain. Explosive Flame Beast, Level 1, Level 8. Xue Da and his 3 companions drank it out with a shocked expression on their faces. This level 8 explosive beast is as powerful as level 9, and its flame attack is extremely powerful. Humph, it's just an 8th level explosive beast, Lan Luo said coldly with a disdainful expression on his face. The 8th level explosive beast is equivalent to the 9th level demon beast. This time, we can only see senior brother Lan Luo demonstrate his divine power. Qing Yun smiled and looked at Lan Luo seriously. 8th level explosive beasts, they are not confident in killing them, and being able to escape is considered fortunate. Isn't there another senior brotherly Lingtian here? Is Shweta looking for someone to share the spoils of war? Lan Luo glanced at Li Lingtian. Along the way, only Li Lingtian and he didn't fight. He was able to say that because he didn't fight monsters below level 7, as he had agreed before coming. But Li Lingtian never made a move. With a fierce heart, he lifted Li Lingtian out. The 3rd level warrior only killed this 8th level monster, missing one person to share the inner pill. Senior brother Lan Luo, senior brother Li only has the 3rd level of martial arts, where is the opponent of the explosive flame beast? Aren't you letting someone die? Upon hearing Lan Luo's words, Shangguan Linger was taken aback for a moment, and then a hint of coldness appeared on her face, showing extreme contempt towards him. Okay, it's up to me. Li Lingtian said lightly, his eyes icy as he glanced at Lan Luo. A strange smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he quickly walked forward with a flash of his body. He didn't have the ability to cultivate body techniques, so he could only move a few steps at the speed of the warrior. Senior brotherly, please hold back and don't be impulsive, Shangguan Linger shouted loudly as she watched Li Lingtian walk towards the blazing flame beast, only 20 meters away. The 3rd level warrior is definitely not a match for the 8th level monster. When he passed away like this, he thought Li Lingtian was provoked by Lan Luo. Let's work together. Be careful. Shweta and Qing Yun were extremely anxious when they saw that Li Lingtian had not paid attention to them. Although it was just a temporary team, they had an aversion to Lan Luo. The two quickly chased after Li Lingtian, and with their joint efforts, they should be able to withstand a blow from the explosive flame beast. But what they didn't expect was that Li Lingtian exerted force under his feet and suddenly rushed towards the blazing flame beast, jumping 2 zhang in length and fiercely diving towards it. For a moment, Shweta and his companions were all stunned, completely blinded by Li Lingtian's action. Isn't this seeking death? Chapter 6. Killing and devouring people/animals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeking death. Lan Luo watched as Li Lingtian rushed towards the blazing flame beast, thinking he had been provoked by him. He sneered disdainfully on his face, thinking about the fate of Li Lingtian being turned into ashes by the blazing flame beast. Shangguan Linger, Shweta, and Qing Yun were all stunned. Flame fist, die. Li Lingtian naturally ignored the thoughts of the others behind him. With a burst of force, he was in the air, and his whole body's true energy was in motion. The flames and true energy in his body were instantly elevated to the extreme, and he fiercely punched down and killed him. The air was filled with the scent of flames, with the demonic aura of explosive beasts and the fiery energy unleashed by Li Lingtian. Roar! The blazing flame beast was also shocked by the humans in front of him. A small human emitted a destructive flame aura. As a fire-type monster, he understood the power of flames even more. With a fierce roar, the blazing demon power gathered all over his body, and his huge claws fiercely met Li Lingtian. Bang! Click, click, click. Roaming. With a muffled sound, the flame divine fist followed Li Lingtian's diving force and fiercely landed on the huge claw. Li Lingtian's body bounced back and landed lightly on the ground, with a smile still on his lips. The sound of a click rang out, and the huge explosive beast was punched and flew, breaking countless trees at the waist and finally hitting the rock wall fiercely before stopping. In mid-air, the vitality had already been cut off, and the whole body seemed to be burnt, emitting a faint scent of meat. Shweta and others looked at everything that was happening in front of them, with an incredible expression on their faces. They stared blankly at the explosive beast in the distance, unable to react in their minds for a moment. Who the hell is a monster? People are even stronger than monsters. A few people looked dumbfounded. This was an 8th-level explosive beast, equivalent to the power of a 9th-level demon beast, but it was actually killed by a 3rd-level warrior's punch. Animals are animals, Lingtian said lightly. He had just used his body's flame true chi, otherwise he wouldn't have easily killed the explosive flame beast. However, monsters are always monsters, and they are only killed when they are not on guard. If they were humans, they would not stand and let you fight. Humph, it's just an 8th-level monster. Lan Luo was also shocked by Lingtian's punch just now, but when he saw Shweta and the others' dull expressions, he immediately snorted disdainfully. I didn't expect Brother Li and Senior Brother to hide their secrets, just now they punched so brilliantly. Who are you in it, the monster? Qingyun and Shweta woke up from their daze, shook their heads, and finally understood that everything was not an illusion, but reality. Get lost. Lingtian heard Shweta compare him to a monster and said a word with a faint smile on his face. Shweta and Qingyun naturally knew that Lingtian was joking. Along the way, Lingtian was easy to get along with and naturally wouldn't consider him as arrogant as Lan Luo. I'll go get rid of this blazing flame beast, and in the future, I'll hunt down the monsters and call out to you. There won't be any problem with level 8 or 9 monsters. Shweta smiled foolishly and ran towards the blazing flame beast. The 4 of them were talking and laughing, and Lan Luo and the 4 formed a sharp contrast, with a sinister expression on their faces. I will take the inner pill of this explosive beast. I am a fire-type martial soul who cultivates the flame divine fist. This inner pill can absorb and increase cultivation. After Lingtian and Shweta finished dealing with the explosive beast, the demon beast's inner pill and materials were put into a storage bag, which was only the size of a palm, but could hold 4 cubic items inside. Looking at the inner pill of the flame-blazing beast, Lingtian took it out and said calmly, his eyes fixed on Shweta and the others. No problem, this explosive beast was killed by Senior Brother Li alone. Besides, isn't it just an inner pill? Sure. This is natural. Without any hesitation, Shweta and his companions nodded and agreed. Lingtian practiced the fire technique and obtained the internal pill of this flame-blazing beast, which naturally improved his cultivation. No way. An disharmonious voice rang out from Lan Luo's mouth. He hated Lingtian to the bone, snatched his attention, hit his face, and now he wants to obtain the inner pill of an 8th-level demon beast. Naturally, he won't agree. This explosive beast was killed by Senior Brother Li. Besides, Senior Brother Li is a fire-type martial soul, which suits him perfectly. This level 8 inner pill is just a replacement for a Peiyuan pill. Shangguanlinger turned around, furrowed her brows, and said seriously. Along the way, Lan Luo had disdained Lingtian, and even had just asked Lingtian to deal with the 8th-level monster. The only trace of goodwill towards this Lan Luo senior brother had long been worn away. You promised to give this trash, but I didn't agree. I have the strongest strength here. Lan Luo felt even more unbalanced as he watched Shweta, Qingyun, and Shangguanlinger both agree to give the inner pill to Lingtian. Alright, this inner pill will be distributed later. After Lingtian finished speaking, he put the inner pill into the storage bag and walked forward. Shweta and his companions looked at Lingtian in confusion. Although Lingtian was a 3rd-level warrior, his just punch killed the 8th-level demon beast, so he naturally wouldn't be afraid of Lan Luo. However, he didn't think much and quickly followed suit. In the next half-day, the 5 of them did not encounter any powerful monsters. They were all level 5 or 6 monsters, and Lingtian did not take any more action. Lan Luo did not take any action. In half a day, a few people killed more than 35 or 6 level monster beasts, which is a daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. Not good. There is no trace of any demon beasts within a few miles here, so we must have encountered a big demon beast. Shueda's face showed a bitter smile. Based on his previous experience in hunting monsters, seeing the location here, there must be powerful monsters. Generally, level 9 and level 10 monsters have their own territory, and no other monsters break in. It's a 9th level monster. Lingtian's face also showed a solemn expression. With the fusion of souls from 2 lifetimes, his divine sense was more than twice as strong as that of ordinary people. Wherever his divine sense passed, a pitch-black monster was placed on top of him, 100 zhang away. 9-level monster. It's equivalent to the 9th level peak of a warrior. Where is it? Behind the boulder, there are indeed monsters, but I don't know what level they are. Shueda was extremely shocked. The 5 people here all had cultivation levels below the 7th level of martial artists. They could still deal with level 8, but when they reached level 9, they only had the chance to escape. Except for Lingtian, only Mingyue has a deeper strength. His divine sense discovered a demon beast behind the giant stone, but due to the strength of his divine sense, it cannot be determined what level of demon beast it is. Lan Luo looked disdainfully at Lingtian. As a 3rd-level warrior, it was impossible for him to have such a powerful divine sense. Even his 7th-level cultivation had not been noticed, and Lingtian was naturally talking nonsense. Hoo hoo, hoo hoo. A series of roaring sounds echoed from behind the boulder, followed by a 2 zhang long and 1 zhang high monster appearing in the sight of the 5 people, with 2 huge eyes emitting a bright red light. 9-level devouring humans/beasts, not good, run away. When Shueda saw the devouring man/beast, his face changed dramatically, as if he had encountered a ghost. The other few did not know the terror of the devouring man/beast, but he knew that he had witnessed the 9th-level devouring man/beast devouring 2 8th-level warriors with his own eyes. Roar! The devouring person/beast opened its huge blood-red mouth and fiercely rushed towards the few people, as if seeing delicious food. The foul smell made Lingtian almost want to vomit. Lan Luo, didn't you say your strength is the strongest? You haven't even made a move yet, so you're not here to share our spoils in vain, are you? Lingtian had no fear at all, his eyes fixed on Lan Luo, ignoring the terror of devouring humans/beasts. You. If you don't leave, I'll leave first. Bang! Lan Luo's face turned red when Lingtian said this. What Lingtian said was exactly what he had started to give Lingtian, but now the reason has been given back to him. Watching the oncoming devourer/beast, I felt a chill in my heart. With one hand raised, I slapped Shangguanlinger with one palm, and Shangguanlinger's body quickly met the devourer/beast. Damn it! Shueda, Mingyue, and Lingtian were all furious when they saw that Lan Luo had actually sent his fellow disciples into the mouth of devouring humans/beasts in order to escape for themselves. It's done. Shangguanlinger had no idea that Lan Luo would plot against her. Looking at her blood-red mouth, she secretly exclaimed that it was over and her face turned pale. Seeking death. Lingtian's body suddenly flashed and rushed towards Shangguanlinger, knocking her away. The two of them rolled a few meters before stopping and rescued Shangguanlinger from the mouth of the devouring person/beast. Roar! Seeing that all the delicious food in their mouths had been taken away, the devouring humans/beasts roared angrily, their bodies not stopping at all, and their powerful inertia rushed forward. Ah! A scream rang out, and Lan Luo's foot was bitten by a man/beast, his face turning pale. The rock burst. Qing Foam Sword. Flame Divine Fist. At this moment, Mingyue, Shueda, and Lingtian simultaneously launched their most powerful attack, devouring humans/beasts and biting Lan Luo. The 3 of them didn't need any defense at all. If they didn't take action at this time, there would be no chance in the future. Roaming and rumbling. Click. Roar. The rock burst and Lingtian's flame divine fist fiercely hit the devouring person/beast, and Qingyun's Qinfeng sword also fell down. The three of them struck with all their might. Even if it is a level 9 demon beast that devours people/beasts, without defense, it is fiercely blasted out and beaten to pieces by 3 people. It cannot die anymore. Ah, my feet. Lan Luo was constantly rolling on the ground, with one foot completely gone and blood flowing out, gradually blurring his consciousness. Let's go. Lingtian glanced at Lan Luo and sneered, saying that such a villain, constantly mocking him along the way, had better escape for himself and even send his teammates into the mouth of monsters, which is unforgivable. Shweda and the 3 of them had no intention of saving Lan Luo at all. They hated Lan Luo to the bone, and not killing him was already enough. Help me, after returning, I will definitely give you a generous reward. Lan Luo saw a few people about to leave, so he stayed behind. With his current injuries, even if he was not killed by other warriors, he would still be eaten by monsters. Humph, beast, you still have the face to call us to save you. Lingtian snorted coldly, then lifted his foot and walked forward, but before taking a few steps, he stopped. If I die here, you won't be able to get any better. My elder brother is a genius at the peak of the 9th level of martial arts. Chapter 7. Martial Spirit Strong People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A genius at the pinnacle of the 9th level warrior. Lingtian stopped, his smile growing stronger at the corner of his mouth. He was on the brink of death and even threatened him. Senior brother Li, he's right. Blue Ocean is the 9th-ranked genius disciple in the outer sect, reaching the pinnacle of the 9th level of martial arts. If he dies here, we can't escape the connection. Yes, Blue Ocean is the 9th genius in the outer gate and the most likely genius to become a martial spirit powerhouse. Shweda and Qingyun both had a solemn expression on their faces. Although they were disciples of an outer sect, their competition within the outer sect was even more intense than that of peripheral disciples. For the peak master of the 9th level martial arts, they also lacked the courage to provoke. When speaking, they look at Lingtian with their eyes. Hehe, why don't you come and treat my foot? It angered me, and you all will die in the future. When Lan Luo saw Qingyun and Shweda, his face showed a proud expression, unaware that his feet were gone and he was still arrogant here. Lingtian nodded and then walked towards Lan Luo. Shweda and his companions looked at Lingtian in confusion, but when Lingtian saved Lan Luo, they breathed a sigh of relief in their hearts. At least they wouldn't be killed by Lan Hai when the time came. Shangguanlinger frowned. Although she was afraid of the Blue Ocean, this Blue Luo almost killed her. If it weren't for Lingtian saving her, it would have become a delicacy that devours people/beasts now. Follow me obediently in the future, be my servant, and the benefits will come from you. Lan Luo saw Lingtian walking towards him, with a look of disdain on his face. He endured the pain in his legs and smiled viciously. If it weren't for Lingtian rescuing Shangguanlinger, he wouldn't have hurt him by devouring people/animals. Death. Lingtian swung one hand and the flame divine fist fiercely hit Lan Luo. Roaming. With a loud bang, the ground was scorched black, and a large pit appeared. Lan Luo had long been hit somewhere. Shweda and his companions stared blankly at Lingtian. They didn't expect that Lingtian was not going to save Lan Luo, but to go and kill Lan Luo. What should be done? Lingtian killed Lan Luo, and Lan Hai would definitely not let them go. Ignorance. Lingtian grabbed Lan Luo from the pit, who had long been killed by the flame divine fist and his whole body was scorched. Take a storage bag and turn towards Shweda and the others. I am the one who killed Lan Luo, and it has nothing to do with you. Isn't it just a 9th level warrior? Lingtian looked at Shweta and said seriously, the 9th level warrior is indeed powerful, but as long as he quickly improves his cultivation, he will not be afraid of this 9th level warrior. Count me in. Count me in. When we are together, I don't believe that blue ocean will kill us all. Besides, in the sect, no one dares to kill us. Shweta and Chengyun were both stunned and they saw Lingtian taking responsibility for himself alone. A 14-year-old boy, they were all impressed by his courage. Shangguanlinger also stood up. If it weren't for Lingtian saving her, she would have died long ago. Let's talk about this matter later. Let's kill some monsters first and then go back, otherwise it will be troublesome when the sky is over. Lingtian looked at the 3 people with satisfaction, but did not expect to encounter such 3 people in this bloody world, and then changed the topic. Next, it was unwise for the 4 of them to spend the night in the Tianmu Mountains while killing the monsters and heading towards the direction of the sect. At first, Lingtian rarely took action, but for the rest of the time, he alone took action to kill the monster beasts. At levels 5, 6, 7, and 8, the monster beasts were all killed with one strike. Shweta and others shook their heads as they watched, admiring the young man in their hearts. He was calm, decisive, and did things cleanly, completely unlike a 14-year-old child, like a top expert in his teens. You guys go back first, I'll spend the night here first, and then go back tomorrow after hunting some monsters. As the sun set in the west, Lingtian and Shweta said to each other, then took out their storage bag and began to distribute the inner pills and materials. By the end of the day, all 4 of them had received 16 inner pills. Lingtian took the inner pills of the explosive flame beast, one more than the other 3. The remaining materials will be taken by Shweta to exchange for pills, and then the pills will be separated. The 3 of them persuaded Lingtian to follow back and come back tomorrow, but Lingtian insisted on staying. Without further persuasion, the 3 quickly left the mountain range and headed towards the direction of the sect. Late at night, Lingtian found a tree hole and crawled into it in 3 or 2 places. The trees in the Tianmu Mountains were all over 100 meters high, and each one was embraced by several people. A person inside is like entering the sea. In such a mountain range full of monsters, one must find a safe place to do so. After Shweta and the others left, he alone killed 5 or 6 level 6 monsters, and was extremely satisfied with his flame divine fist. In the tree hole, when I opened Lan Luo's storage bag, there was nothing good inside. 20 lower grade spirit stones, 1 token, and a jade bottle, as well as a yellow level intermediate body technique skill. Seeing these things, Lingtian did not hesitate at all and put the spirit stone into his storage bag. The token was just the waste token of the outer disciple. 3 Peiyuan pills, not bad. Looking at the 3 finger-sized pills inside the jade bottle, Lingtian's face showed a satisfied smile. Peiyuan pill is a pill used by disciples of the Tianyun sect. Each pill, after transformation, is equivalent to the true qi obtained through 5 days of hard cultivation. A typical inner disciple only has 1 Peiyuan pill per month, and this Lan Luo is also a 7th level disciple. Being able to save 3 Peiyuan pills is enough. As for the intermediate body technique skills of Huang Jia, Lingtian gave a faint glance and then began to practice and comprehend. It's just a mid-level skill in the yellow rank. With the wisdom of the 21st century from a previous life and the fusion of 2 souls, one can easily understand the magical techniques of this world. Clear mind and agile thinking are not comparable to warriors in this world. Yellow level intermediate. Qingfeng technique accelerate your body speed, and after reaching your ultimate level of cultivation, you will travel thousands of miles every day, just like a clear breeze drifting by. I quickly understood this body technique skill. It's just a yellow level intermediate skill, and I understood it in 20 minutes. Whoosh! With a flash of his body, he quickly dived down and then used his true energy to unleash the Qingfeng technique. His body quickly ran through the deep forest, crisscrossing between countless giant trees. In the pitch-black deep forest, dense branches block the sky, and there is no moonlight or starlight in sight. Only a faint white shadow constantly shuttles back and forth. Sure enough, the Qingfeng technique is not simple, with a body shape similar to Qingfeng. If one cultivates to a great extent, they can come and go without a trace. Lingtian stopped, a smile on his face, and with a flash of his body, he shot towards the tree hole. The 20-meter-high tree hole turned into a flowing light and disappeared. Martial 4th level, breakthrough. In the tree hole, Lingtian used up a Peiyuan pill, and his body was instantly filled with true qi, quickly reaching the peak of the 3rd level of martial arts. Finally, absorbed the inner alchemy of the fire-blazing flame beast directly with the flame true qi, and directly absorbed the inner alchemy of the 8th level demon beast. Although it is dangerous, Lingtian is no longer afraid of this 8th level inner alchemy after being tempered with the 10,000 zhang flame and the ancient ice crystal. The 8th level explosive beast inner pill was indeed powerful, and Lingtian's face was covered in beads of sweat rolling down, with a pale complexion. Finally, the 3rd level warrior broke through the peak and smoothly entered the 4th level of the martial artist. The true qi in his body was rolling and circulating, and the powerful power made him extremely excited. You can practice well now. After the breakthrough, he was full of confidence. Although it was dangerous to be in the mountains at night, the spiritual energy at night and in the morning was the strongest, which was also the reason why he stayed. In the tree hole, the spiritual energy around quickly condensed towards Lingtian, and the power of the heaven and earth reincarnation technique absorbed the spiritual energy miraculously. The spiritual energy enveloped Lingtian, and with a final sniff, the pure spiritual energy entered his body. The cycle of heaven and earth was rapidly running, transforming the spiritual energy into true energy. Time passed by second, and the demon beasts roared in the deep forest, as if trapped in a tide of beasts. Suddenly, Lingtian's ears twitched and he quickly absorbed the spiritual energy, suppressing his own breath. Click. Zhi. A faint sound reached Lingtian's ears, and with his powerful divine sense, the sound was within 100 zhang, and it was not the voice of a monster. It is clearly the footsteps of a human warrior, and he is also a warrior with a deep cultivation, almost like the traceless body technique mentioned on TV in his past life, like a civet cat in the jungle. Injured powerhouse. Lingtian withdrew his divine sense, and with the sound of his footsteps, he secretly thought that if his divine sense leaked out, he would definitely be discovered by the other party. In such a jungle, it was definitely a good place to kill people and silence them. Pushi. Yang Chongxiao spurted out a mouthful of blood and slowly sat down against the tree. I finally obtained a magical treasure, but it was discovered and chased. My luck was at its peak, and as long as I returned to the sect I would be safe. Sha sha, sha sha. Swish, swish. The sound of breaking through the air echoed in waves, quickly shooting towards this direction, and the number of people actually reached as many as 7 or 8. Lingtian felt extremely distressed when he saw the injured warrior below under his tree. He dared not move now, and any slight movement could lead to a fatal accident. Yang Chongxiao, hand over the ice and fire ring and I can give you a whole corpse. After a moment of practice, 7 black-clad warriors arrived 20 meters in front of Yang Chongxiao. The 7 black-clad warriors surrounded Yang Chongxiao, fearing that he would escape. Humph, Bai Yunhe, don't you think it's shameless? I discovered this ice and fire ring. How much hope do you have for your 1st level martial spirit and my 3rd level martial spirit? Yang Chongxiao's cold gaze fixed on the black-clad man led by him. He had a 3rd level martial spirit and the opponent had a 1st level martial spirit, but there were still 6 strong warriors with 7 or 8 levels by his side. Yang Chongxiao, you have discovered the ice and fire ring quite well, but it belongs to those who possess treasures and abilities. You have reached the third level of your martial spirit and killed 9 disciples of our Yunxia sect martial artists. Now you are also seriously injured, he. Bai Yun he looked at Yang Chongxiao leaning against the tree and chuckled. For this treasure, he was willing to sacrifice his sect's talented disciples to consume Yang Chongxiao. As long as you obtain that treasure, you can greatly enhance your strength. It's just a matter of sect disciples. If you want this treasure, do it yourself. Yang Chongxiao looked at the road in front of him and it was impossible for him to leave today. If Wu Ling was in front of him normally, it wouldn't be a big deal, but the situation is not right now. With one hand reaching out, a palm-sized halo appeared in the hand, which was red and blue in color, emitting a strong ice-fire aura. Within a radius of 10 zhang, there is a eerie aura of cold ice and flames, both of which together create a sense of death. Ice and fire rings, When Bai Yin he saw Yang Chongxiao take out the ice and fire ring, his eyes immediately showed a greedy look. This treasure is at least a top-level spiritual weapon, and it is not in vain to sacrifice so many disciples. But next, Yang Chongxiao's action stunned everyone, and Lingtian in the tree hole was even more frightened and ready to die. After Yang Chongxiao put away the ice and fire ring, the entire storage bag shot upwards, straight towards Lingtian's tree hole. 7 black-clad warriors stared at the storage bag because there were ice and fire rings inside. Chapter 8. Escape. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's a bargain for you. If one day you reach the level of King Wu and destroy the entire Yunxia sect. Yang Chongxiao exclaimed loudly, his true qi running to the extreme, without any signs of injury. In a moment, his momentum reached the peak of the third level of martial spirit. The air is constantly twisted, which is the majesty of the martial spirit powerhouse, causing chaos and chaos. Lingtian was shocked in his heart. The storage bag flew towards him, pushing him to death. He hid here, thinking that no one could detect him. It turned out that he had already been discovered by the martial spirit powerhouse. So there are still helpers, all of them have been killed. Bai Yin he was also stunned, but with a sweep of his divine sense on the tree trunk, he noticed a faint breath. He was just a low-level disciple of the martial artist, and his heart relaxed. Roaming and rumbling. Qianying gun, eliminated. Yang Chongxiao's true energy surged all over his body, and he held a long spear that was as strong as a divine dragon coming out of the cave. The destructive energy attacked the 7 warriors. Countless huge trees were broken and fiercely attacked, leaving Lingtian stunned. This is the true powerhouse. Not good, Yang Chongxiao used the bloodthirsty technique. Be careful, he can only sustain it for 10 seconds. Bai Yunhe was extremely shocked in his heart. Yang Chongxiao himself was on the brink of death and had no combat power at all. But now he was so powerful that he must have used a secret technique to burn the true qi, essence, and blood in his body, unleashing his strength to the fullest. Hurry up and get out of here. Remember, kill the entire Yunxia sect. Roaming and rumbling. Click. Whoosh. The long spear in Yang Chongxiao's hand emitted a destructive energy, shining brightly on the deep forest. His face was bloodshot, and it was obvious that he could not hold on for long. Feeling extremely anxious, a shot swept across and hit the tree where Lingtian was standing fiercely. Suddenly, the big tree broke from its waist, and Lingtian was also awakened. Without any further hesitation, his body flashed and quickly rushed out. If he didn't leave at this moment, he would never be able to leave. Roaming and rumbling. The sound of screams from behind echoed, and countless trees continued to collapse, causing the earth to tremble. The battle of the martial spirit powerhouse was heart-wrenching. Whoosh! A sharp sound of breaking through the air echoed behind Lingtian. Upon discovering this sharp sound, he quickly descended and rolled around, narrowly avoiding the sharp blow. Death! Amidst the roar of anger, the third-level martial spirit warriors burned their lives to the death, while 7 warriors kept dying. In the blink of an eye, all 6 warriors of the 7th and 8th levels died, leaving only Bai Yunhe to resist them to the death. Roaming and rumbling. With a shocking explosion, the earth trembled and calmed down again. Lingtian relied on the Qingfeng technique to shuttle through the deep forest like headless flies, already a few miles away. Damn it, damn it. Bai Yun he looked at his arm broken by a long spear, as well as 6 martial arts disciples, and felt extremely angry. He spent so much money to make wedding clothes for others. Senior uncle. At this moment, dozens of warriors with 7 or 8 ranks rushed towards Bai Yunhe, standing behind him, looking at the chaos in front of him with a look of fear on their faces. Take them away, and Yang Chongxiao will also take them away. We cannot provoke Tianyun sect for the time being. The treasure has been taken away by someone, chase after it. Don't let him leave this mountain range, you must get the treasure. Bai Yunhe's face was extremely gloomy, facing the 6 martial arts disciples on the ground, as well as Yang Chongxiao. Although Yang Chongxiao is not a disciple of the Tianyun sect, this place is the territory of the Tianyun sect, and we must not let the Tianyun sect discover any clues. Then, with a single wave of his hand, he quickly chased towards the front direction, which was exactly the direction where Lingtian fled. Nima, what kind of luck is all this? Lingtian dare not stop. The martial spirit powerhouse is an elusive existence. If caught up, he will die without a whole body. Thinking of Yang Chongxiao's third-level martial spirit's domineering appearance, I envied him immensely. This is a strong person, not something that a warrior can match. Yunxia sect, I haven't heard of it before. What kind of garbage is this? It killed me. Lingtian grabbed the storage bag in his hand and ran quickly, feeling secretly grateful that he had traveled through it, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to cultivate the Qingfeng technique. In just half an hour, master the Qingfeng technique, otherwise you will only be killed. What's this place? I've turned into a headless fly. Did I run in the wrong direction? The first time I came to kill a demon beast, I was not familiar with the environment here, and in the late night, the dark and numb area made it impossible to distinguish the direction. Oh, the Big Dipper. Indeed, I made a mistake. I suddenly discovered the stars in the sky. With the wisdom of my past life, the stars in the sky are also coordinates that indicate the direction. As expected, they still ran in the wrong direction. But at this moment, you cannot turn back. If you turn back, you will definitely be touched by those behind you. Wait, just wait until dawn. Lingtian chose a new direction. Although he couldn't turn back, he could take a slightly wrong path and slowly approached the Tianyun sect. As long as it was dawn, the disciples of the Tianyun sect would come out to practice, and the Yunxia sect dared not pursue the disciples of the Tianyun sect in the Tianmu Mountains. Thinking of this, my heart relaxed a bit and my divine sense quickly scanned towards the back. The ignorant are the happiest. A master of the 7th level of martial arts quickly chased after him at an incredibly fast speed. It seems that this martial artist mainly focuses on cultivating body techniques, otherwise he wouldn't have been so fast. With a flash of his body, he quickly leaped towards the treetops, his true energy running through his body, and when it was time, he struck with all his might. Flame Fist, die for me. After 5 seconds of cultivation, the 8th level master of the martial artist chased after Lingtian's hiding place. Suddenly, he realized that he had lost Lingtian's aura, frowned, and looked at a disc in his hand. At this moment, a destructive flame descended from the sky. A storm struck. Zhou Yun was startled and felt the power of the destructive flames. His whole body was full of true qi, and the most powerful attack of the wind-type martial soul was unleashed, fiercely smashing towards the flames above. Roaming and rumbling. Pushi. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and his body was fiercely smashed into the soil, his whole body scorched. 7 levels of martial artists, **********1. Li Lingtian's body fell down and shook slightly. He looked disdainfully at the 7th level master of the warrior who had been smashed to death in the soil. He had the strength to cultivate, but had no mind at all. After finishing speaking, quickly take away the storage bag and put on the disc. Just now, he saw clearly that the warrior had lost his breath, so he looked at the disc. I also thought in my heart that the people behind me were chasing after me, with a precise route. It must have relied on some kind of magical connection and means. Otherwise, entering such a large deep forest alone would definitely be searching for a needle in a haystack. Whoosh, whoosh. Less than 10 seconds after Li Lingtian left, 2 figures appeared in front of Zhou Yun's corpse, with a look of shock on their faces. The 8th level warrior was actually killed by a punch. Senior brother Qi, do we still need to chase after him? Looking at Zhou Yun's tragic death, Xiang Tian felt a slight tremble in his heart. With the death of the 7th level warrior, he himself was only the 7th level warrior. Pursuing him was a search for death. Do you want to be like junior brother Zhou? Qi smiled for a moment and said coldly, who dares to try such a risk easily? Don't say you don't know what your opponent's cultivation is. Even if you do, you are worried about being like Zhou Yun. Quickly, 7 or 8 warriors arrived in front of Zhou Yun's corpse, with a look of shock on their faces. Damn it, this storage bag was tampered with by the people of Yinxia sect. After Li Lingtian killed Zhou Yun, he ran for more than 10 miles and looked at the disc in his hand all the way. Finally, he found that wherever the storage bag was located, the red needle on the disc pointed to it. After finishing speaking, he quickly threw Yang Chongxiao's storage bag out, transferring everything inside to his own storage bag. With a flash of his body, he ran in the opposite direction of the storage bag. After running all night, the sky gradually brightened up, and no one chased after him anymore. With the direction, the distance from Tianyun sect became closer and closer. After such a night, I was exhausted and my clothes were torn apart, no different from the beggar on the roadside. Damn it, what's going on? Every day, each book friend can publish 10 book reviews for this book. Any 10 book reviews, this book already has hundreds of thousands of readers. I hope everyone can review the book and add one more review every day. Hundreds of thousands of readers, let's all comment on it. Any book review is fine. Bai Yun he came to Yang Chongxiao's storage bag, which was empty and without even a single hair. Senior uncle, that thief is cunning. He discovered the mark on the storage bag and threw it here. We can no longer find his trace. Zhonglan looked at the furious Bai Yunhe and trembled as he said, while the other disciples dared not make a sound. Disperse first, this is the territory of Tianyun sect. Conduct secret investigations and must find the treasure. Bai Yun he looked at the direction of Tianyun sect and found that Tianyun sect, as one of the 4 major sects, could not turn against Tianyun sect unless absolutely necessary. Chapter 9. Ice Soul Divine Fist. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The morning air was fresh and refreshing, and the spiritual energy was also at its lowest point of the day. Li Lingtian found a place to change his clothes, and a blazing flame burned down the broken clothes. Walking leisurely towards the Chaozong sect, I saw countless disciples already practicing, with a hint of a smile on my face. In less than half an hour, he finally returned to his own room. After returning to his room, he finally felt at ease. This night had left him with too much shock. The strength of a martial spirit powerhouse, as well as the bleakness of being hunted down, if one were a martial spirit powerhouse, they would definitely not be hunted down. However, thinking that there are even more powerful ones above the martial spirit powerhouse, I secretly made up my mind to become a master of the world and control my own destiny. Sitting cross-legged and running all night, there was no real energy left in my body. After an hour of rest, the true Qi was restored to the peak of the 4th level martial artist, and the whole person was also full of energy. 47 inner pills, enough to exchange for some pills. After resting, he started counting his spoils and found 10 level 9 inner pills in Yang Chongxiao's storage bag. He also found some inner pills in Zhou Yun's storage bag, totaling 47. And there are also 2 bottles of pills, 5 Rongling pills and 8 Peiyuan pills. Peiyuan pill is a first-grade pill, which is commonly used by martial artists. However, Rongling pill is a second-grade pill, which is used by martial spirit experts. If a warrior is strong enough to use it, its power will be immensely powerful. However, ordinary warriors dare not try it easily unless they reach the peak of the 9th level of the warrior and use it to attack the realm. A pill has been released, along with over 200 quick to lower grade spirit stones. More importantly, there are ice and fire rings, a skill book, and a strange jade slip. The ice and fire ring almost killed him, and even countless experts were vying for it, but it was unclear what level of treasure it was. Xian level low. Level. Ice Soul Divine Fist. Surprisingly, it's the low. Level Ice Soul Divine Fist of the Xian level. It's worth it, it's worth it. Lingtian ignored the ice and fire ring and instead took out this skill. Upon seeing it, he immediately became excited. Not to mention the power of this skill, just this rank was displayed here. The low. Level skills of the Xuanjie sect, even within the Tianyun sect, cannot be dreamed of by external disciples. Only the talented disciples of the internal sect have the opportunity to access them. And this skill, the Ice Soul Divine Fist, is just right for him. Although the Ice Soul and the Ancient Ice Crystal have no control, practicing this Ice Soul Divine Fist can help to strengthen the Ice Soul and balance the heart of the Fire Dragon. Although it was extremely thrilling this time, it was definitely worth it. I obtained a skill, a treasure, and many pills and spirit stones. A pie fell from the sky, but it almost killed him. In the following days, Lingtian did not leave the room. During the day, he practiced the cycle of heaven and earth, while at night he practiced the Flame Divine Fist and the Ice Soul Divine Fist. If someone saw him practicing the skill of mutual restraint at the same time, they would definitely be shocked, but the fact is, he not only practiced, but also was very powerful. 5 days have passed, and all 8 Peiyuan pills have been used up, but their cultivation has reached the 5th level of martial arts. It's great to have pills for cultivation. But he didn't know that he completely treated the pills as sugar pills, and his outer disciples only had 1 Peiyuan pill a month. Surprisingly, he used 8 pills in 5 days. The Ice Soul Divine Fist can only be practiced to a small level. It seems that we need to replace the inner pill. In 5 days, the Ice Soul Divine Fist was cultivated. With one punch, everything within a radius of 5 zhang turned into a glacier, with a chilling aura that could slow down the opponent's speed. But he never used it, because every time he used the Ice Soul Divine Fist, he would activate the Ancient Ice Crystal. The power of the Ancient Ice Crystal was astonishing and he could not control it at all. Unless absolutely necessary, he would not easily use the Ice Soul Divine Fist. The elixir in hand is gone. It's a pity to use the Rongling pill now. It must be used after the 7th level of the martial artist, but there are still spirit stones and inner pills in hand. Senior Brother Li, I finally found you. As Lingtian was entering the outer door, a sweet voice came over, causing him to be stunned. In the Tianyun sect, he didn't know many people, let alone women. Immediately turning around, a faint smile appeared on his face. It turned out to be Shengguan Linger, as well as Qing Yun and Xuede. Senior Brother Li, we haven't seen you in the past few days. You haven't gone to kill the monster, have you? Xuede exclaimed loudly. Although Xuede is a 5th level warrior, it is a etiquette in the sect to call his senior brother in this way. He wouldn't call his junior brother before he is unfamiliar with him, would he? I have been practicing for the past 2 days and haven't gone hunting monsters. Lingtian nodded. These days, he cannot easily enter the Tianmu Mountains. If he is targeted, it will be in big trouble. This is the pill I bought last time. The ingredients have changed to 14 peiyuan pills, and we will share them equally among the four of us. Here are your 5 pills. Shweta handed the 5 pills to Lingtian with a simple smile on his face. How can I have 5? Lingtian was taken aback. You put in the most effort, and your cultivation requires the cultivation pill to improve. Your cultivation. You have reached the 5th level of a warrior, how could it be? Demon, how did you do it? After Shweta handed the 5 peiyuan pills to Lingtian put in the most effort last time and even took responsibility for Lan Luo's situation, greatly admiring this senior brother. When it came to Lingtian's cultivation, I suddenly realized that I couldn't see his cultivation level clearly. A few days ago, Lingtian was a 3rd-level warrior, and he could clearly see it, but now he can't see it. The only explanation is that Lingtian's cultivation level is higher than him, or just like him. Even if his cultivation is the same as him, it means that Lingtian has improved by 2 levels in recent days. Qingyun saw clearly Lingtian's realm, and the 3 of them exclaimed in surprise, with an incredible expression on their faces, completely stunned. Isn't it just elevating 2 levels? Lingtian said indifferently, but he didn't know that this sentence would make the 3 of them both mentally challenged and mentally challenged. After reaching the level of a martial artist, it would take a year or 2 for each level to be improved, and some would even remain stagnant. However, Lingtian spoke so easily. Isn't it just 2 levels? Aren't you deceiving others? You only raised 2 levels in a few days. It took me almost 2 years to go from level 3 to level 5 as a warrior. Shweta looked like he was going berserk, and in just 2 days, he had elevated himself to 2 levels. People are so infuriating compared to others. Qingyun and Shengguanlinger were speechless. How could those geniuses live? I still have some inner pills on me. I'll go exchange some pills, and you guys. Lingtian smiled as he looked at Shwedason. We just came out from over there. You go first, we'll wait for you here. Shweta shook his head in silence, and Lingtian turned around and walked towards the welfare pavilion ahead. Welfare Pavilion is a place where disciples of Tianyun sect receive benefits and exchange tasks. Ordinary disciples who receive medicinal herbs and inner elixirs will come here to exchange for spirit stones or elixirs. When Lingtian came here, there were not many people at all, and in less than 5 minutes, it was his turn. Is it a medicinal herb or an inner pill? A young man of the 7th rank of a warrior in the welfare pavilion didn't even look at Lingtian, and said calmly. He was doing his own thing. For a disciple of the 5th rank of a warrior, if he came here alone, he would definitely not have any good inner alchemy or medicinal herbs. Exchange for spirit stones and elixirs, exchange for inner pills and materials. With a hint of smile on his face, Lingtian took out the storage bag and threw it towards the warrior inside. Ha! The young warrior looked disdainfully at Lingtian's storage bag, then his divine sense entered the bag, and his face suddenly changed. So many advanced inner alchemy and materials. The young warrior sighed and was extremely surprised that a 5th-level disciple of a warrior possessed so many inner pills and materials, and most of them were materials from high-level monsters. Exchange 50 peiyuan pills and the rest for spirit stones. Lingtian calmly said that he naturally knew the quantity of the materials and inner pills inside, and there was a brand nearby with a ratio of inner pill levels exchanged, so he was not afraid that the people inside would embezzle his things. These are 50 peiyuan pills and 560 spiritual stones. The young warrior's gaze towards Lingtian became much softer. No matter how these inner pills were obtained, they were not something he could easily provoke. Quickly, the inner alchemy materials inside were counted, and 50 peiyuan pills and 560 quick spirit stones were handed to Lingtian. After changing the pills, Lingtian walked out directly, but when he saw Shweta and the others, his face showed a cold and his eyes were extremely cold. Today, use the lives of the three of you to pay homage to the soul of Lan Luo. Blue Ocean looked coldly at the three people in front of him, emitting a powerful aura. Humph, Lan Luo is seeking his own death, not blaming us. This is Tianyun sect, don't forget the sect rules. Xuede and Shengguanlinger looked at the young man in front of them, with a solemn expression on their faces. The genius at the peak of the 9th level of martial arts was also ranked 9th among the outer gates. Unless you don't leave Tianyun sect, even if we don't kill you now and abolish the three of you, do you think Tianyun sect will punish me? Ignorance. Blue Ocean looked disdainfully at the three of them. The rules of the Tianyun sect were indeed strict, and the disciples engaged in brawls. However, the genius at the peak of the 9th level abolished 3 ordinary disciples, and the sect only turned a blind eye. This is a world where strength is paramount, and it is impossible to reason with you. Shu. After speaking, the long sword in his hand was unsheathed and swung straight toward Xuede, reaching the peak of the 9th level of the martial artist. It was easier to defeat the disciple of the 5th level of the martial artist than to crush an ant. The long sword pointed to locking Xuede's entire chi mechanism, which was completely unavoidable. Upon discovering such a situation, one's heart was horrified to death. Ah! Shengguanlinger exclaimed in surprise. The martial artist reached the peak of the 9th level and Xuede was determined to be defeated. He couldn't help but exclaim again, his face turning extremely pale. 10. Chapter 10 Selection of Skills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! At this moment, the air temperature suddenly skyrocketed, and the few people seemed to be in a fiery abyss. With a loud bang, the long sword in Blue Ocean's hand was shattered. A young man in white appeared in front of Xuede, with a slight smile on his face and a cold gaze at the Blue Ocean. Senior Brotherly. Senior Brotherly. Who are you? Shengguanlinger and Qingyun were extremely excited when they saw Lingtian in front of Xuede. Blue Ocean was also shocked as he looked at Lingtian, the peak of his 9th level warrior. Although he didn't exert all his strength with just one sword, it was not something that ordinary warriors could resist. Feeling the scorching air around him, he was extremely suppressed and his face was also solemn. He had never heard of this person with such a high level of cultivation. You don't need to know who I am, but you should pay the price for your ignorant act against my friend today. A strange smile appeared at the corner of Lingtian's mouth. Although these 3 disciples had only been together for a day, they were friends that could be socialized with. Seeing this, he naturally wouldn't stand idly by. Besides, Lan Luo was killed by him. Martial 5th level, do you know who I am? Blue Ocean carefully scrutinized Lingtian's cultivation, and found that he was a 5th level warrior. Such a warrior was completely unnoticed, and even if he was a 9th level warrior, he had defeated quite a few. Will you die if you don't brag? Aren't you just Lan Luo's cousin, trash? Lingtian looked at the Blue Ocean with disgust, a fool and ignorance. Even if his strength was strong, he didn't know why he was killed. You, Lan Luo, did you ambush him? Bring him to your door and pay for Lan Luo's life today. Seeing Lingtian talking about Lan Luo, he immediately understood that the young man in front of him should be the murderer who killed Lan Luo. Lan Luo's death was not a big deal, but now that the young man in front of him has threatened him, he definitely cannot stay. Storm Whirl, extinguish. The Blue Ocean kept waving its hands, and fierce whirlwinds appeared in its hands. The whirlwinds formed a vortex about 1 meter in size, constantly tearing apart the air. Xuede's face showed a look of fear. He was a genius at the 9th level peak of martial arts, and Storm Xian had defeated countless experts at the 9th level peak. Yellow level advanced. Storm Spin. When such a skill was used, the 3 of them were completely stunned. They stared blankly at the whirlwind, feeling extremely scared and worried about Lingtian. No matter how powerful Lingtian was, he was only a 5th level disciple of a martial artist. Humph, the superficial is superficial, the glamorous is not the real. Flame fist, break it. Lingtian carefully looked at the storm whirlwind in Blue Ocean's hand. The skills of the yellow level advanced were indeed powerful, but the skills of the yellow level advanced were not well controlled by the 9th level warriors, and their power could not be fully exerted. However, the 9th level of the warrior is the 9th level of the warrior, and it is an advanced skill. I dare not be careless. With the movement of the heaven and earth reincarnation technique, the fiery true energy of the fire dragon heart surged towards my fist. The explosive flame breath, the whirlwind tearing through the air, and the two attacks collided in an instant. Bang! Hiss! Pushi! With a muffled sound, followed by a tearing sound, the storm's spinning eyes were shattered, and the explosive flames rushed into the Blue Ocean's body, constantly eroding his dantian. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and the body was thrown backwards, falling 10 meters away, with a pale expression on its face. My cultivation. My cultivation. You have ruined my cultivation, damn it, ah. The three of them woke up in shock and looked at Lingtian incredulously, defeating the genius at the peak of the 9th level martial arts with one punch and the 9th ranked genius from the outer gate. At this moment, Blue Ocean screamed loudly and realized that his cultivation had rapidly disappeared, being devoured by the fiery aura inside his body, and he was extremely frightened. Finally, his cultivation disappeared without a trace, and there was no more true cultivation energy in the elixir field. A warrior without cultivation was almost his second life. Now that his cultivation is gone, he can no longer withstand such a blow. Senior brotherly, it turns out there's no room for leakage. Shweda stepped forward and punched Lingtian in the chest, shouting loudly. The shock on his face had not dissipated for a long time. The 5th level warrior actually defeated him with a low-level yellow level skill and defeated his opponent. Isn't it just a 9th level warrior? Skills, although the stronger the better you must control them, the greater their power. Let's go. Lingtian said indifferently that his flame divine fist, although only a low-level yellow level, has been cultivated to the extreme, almost comparable to top intermediate skills, let alone just using the fire dragon heart true chi in the dantian. The true chi of the fire dragon heart is incomparable to the fire type true chi, so dealing with a warrior naturally has no problem. Besides, there are no tricks among the warriors, they rely solely on their own strength and skills. They have played tricks in this area and gained a huge advantage. The matter is not so simple. Although this Blue Ocean is only the 9th genius in the outer gate, he has an uncle with a martial spirit level 1 in the inner gate. A few people quickly left, and Cheng Yun spoke to Lingtian. Lingtian's 5th level warrior defeated Blue Ocean, which was beyond their imagination. However, when facing the martial spirit powerhouse, they had to wait to die. When the car reaches the mountain, there must be a way, and when the boat reaches the bridge, it naturally runs straight. Practice for a period of time first, and don't worry about other things. After Lingtian finished speaking, he walked forward. Shweda and the three of them looked at Lingtian's back in confusion, feeling that he was mysterious and unpredictable. Faced with the threat of a martial spirit powerhouse, he was surprisingly so carefree. However, this Lingtian is a good friend. If it weren't for his actions just now, the three of us would definitely have been defeated. After Lingtian left Shweda and the others, he walked towards the library. Now he has many Peiyuan pills on him, which he can cultivate for a period of time. However, the skills I have mastered are only the low-level flame divine fist of the yellow rank. I feel powerless when facing martial arts masters, let alone encountering more powerful ones. The Ice Soul Divine Fist cannot be used unless absolutely necessary, and it is too dangerous to use it. Abandoning the Blue Ocean has brought about a potential threat from a martial spirit powerhouse, and the Tianyin sect is also getting closer, so we must become stronger. Library Pavilion, the most mysterious forbidden area of the entire Tianyin sect, where all the skills and techniques are located, is also the foundation of a sect. The library is located among the peaks in the center of the Tianyun sect, and there are many skilled warriors patrolling in front of the gate at any time, as well as hidden martial spirit powerhouses. The Heavenly Cloud Sect Library is an important location for visitors to register. A loud voice rang out, and then more than 10 disciples of the 7th-level martial artists walked out, stopping Lingtian and constantly scrutinizing him. Peripheral disciple Lingtian wants to choose a skill. As Lingtian spoke, he took out the waist tag from the storage bag and then lowered it. Lingtian, peripheral disciple, go inside. Take Lingtian's waist token, carefully examine it, scan Lingtian with sharp eyes, wait for a while, confirm that there is no problem before returning the waist token to Lingtian. Thank you, senior brother. Taking the waist token, Lingtian casually said to several 7th-level martial artists and then walked inside. Quickly, he entered the library, which had 4 levels in total. The first level was where the disciples of the martial artists chose their martial arts techniques, and the second level was where the martial spirit experts chose their martial arts skills. As for the higher level, he didn't know. Senior, disciple Lingtian, advanced warrior level 5, come to choose a skill. Entering the library, an old man sat at the door, giving Lingtian a murky look before ignoring him. Seeing this, Lingtian bowed to the old man. Entering and selecting cultivation skills requires not only spirit stones, but also cultivation. Disciples who have not reached the 5th level of martial arts are not eligible to enter the library. The first floor takes half an hour, the old man nodded and pointed inside the library. Entering the library, Lingtian was immediately stunned. It was completely the kind of library in his past life, with a dense array of martial arts and skills. Fortunately, the skills and techniques here are separated, and they are all grouped together according to the type of martial soul. Devouring Palm. Yellow level low. Level. Note. Wood-type soul martial artists are required to cultivate, with a cultivation level of 6th level martial artists. Kunling Fist. Yellow level low. Level. Note. Earth-style martial soul cultivation is required, with a cultivation level of 5th level martial artist. 9 Yang sword technique. Yellow level low. Level. Deadwood skill. Yellow level intermediate Kue Shui Ju. Yellow level intermediate. Lingtian followed the type of martial soul to search, otherwise with so many martial arts and skills here, he wouldn't be able to find one that suits him in half an hour. Flame 3. Yellow level intermediate. It requires the cultivation of fire-based martial souls, with a cultivation level of 5th level martial artists. When cultivated to a great extent, it is equivalent to the power of a yellow level advanced level. Finally, Lingtian found the martial soul skill of the fire series. He looked at the skill, but shook his head. Although this Flame 3 move is an intermediate skill, it is not as powerful as his Flame Divine Fist. It is a waste of spiritual stones and time to finally cultivate low. Level skills to the extreme and then choose intermediate ones.